All right, we are back at it. Fresh start. We are basically figuring out geometry. We ended up getting wheel spacers, 2-piece. Guy did an excellent job, and actually, I'll put the information on here if anybody else might need anything custom made. This guy made us some pretty nice equipment here. Here's his information, and like I said, I'm really impressed with what he built for us. They feel strong, sturdy. Everything looks very symmetrical. 2-piece, gonna bolt right on the Corvette rear end, 06 Corvette, and go to a 1960 tr3 wheel. He got everything perfect, the inner lips and everything on these things. Great job. But all aside that, you got your info on that. We're gonna go ahead. We got some measurements going, jotting down exactly what I got for measurements, because everything's going to be a really tight fit. Everything's got to be perfect now. So we're going to work our way through this and get these on today. And I'll be using 2x2 by quarter square tube, and possibly 1/4 inch 3x3 angle. And I've got to make some of these adjusters on these inner wheels. I'm going to try to meet this at a center measurement, so it could be adjusted in or out, and I've got some leeway either way. Everything's got to be perfect from this point on. Bear with me. I'm gonna get back to welding. All right, we're getting a little closer. We got the bottom control arms, and they are a tight fit. There's an 1/8 inch between those two, and it literally comes out measurement wise, these with 90 degrees. Measured like 10 times, cut once. I think we're gonna encounter an issue right here. Our upper control arm, this has narrowed this so much. I think I'm gonna have to end up doing a notch up, over for the suspension, notch back down, and rework the frame a bar below the motor too. But also, I think I might even have to drop the motor on the motor mount in the back by 2 inches, which is not a big deal, and I foreseen a little bit of this, so we're gonna work with it, see what we get, and hopefully not have to redo the frame on the back, but it could be coming. Bear with me, keep watching. Well folks, I think this is going to be our conclusion for the day. Boxing this all in, and I have come to the conclusion we're gonna have to C-notch our frame right here at the center point, make clearance for the CV shaft, and also we want a little bit of suspension, not where we got to set it extra tight where we don't get a bounce. Now as you can see, just the front of the control arms are mounted. It's because I want to square everything up, cross measure it, and make sure that this is all going to be perfect. Slightly adjustable as far as the alignment of it, but top to bottom, I got to make sure this is on point. So we're going to finish building the frame. I got to go get some more material, 2x2 by quarter tube, and we're going to build a nice little thing for this nice little cage. Be a lot stronger, and we're going to drop the motor about 2 inches. I think everything will pan out great, and yeah, just the starting of this, so I'll keep making footage as we go. It'll look real pretty when we're done. All right, little by little we keep going farther. We got kind of the bracing started off for everything. We haven't added our gussets from here to the frame point yet. Measuring some extra stuff to make sure this all pans out. We're going to trade it to grade 8 bolts, and I think add another gusset on this side for the upper, and I might even do something with the upper A-arm on that. Kind of changed plan a little bit on the tail end of this, because we are going to be cutting out this section to this section so that the CV axle can go through there up to the, well, transmission per se. Drive shaft anyway. We dropped the rear one by about 2 inches exactly to make clearance for the motor. And honestly, I wanted to bring it back down. It looks, I don't know, like more designed for this angle. I was trying to find some stuff online. I can make sure this is all adjusted and welded before we get final touches in. But other than that, our suspension, well, it's hitting the frame on the bottom end, but we've got that in. Got to figure out brake lines. Calipers hooked up. We got some wheel adapters, 2-piece, so that we can get the original OEM wheels on here. We're gonna see how these hold up though for traction. This Tesla motor is gonna put them to work. But other than that, here's what we got done. And this plate actually here is probably gonna be removed as well. That's about it for the day, fellas. And I'm gonna do some research and some rethinking on everything going here with the rest of this. And that actually looks a little low, but it does line up with flush to about the bottom of the car right there, middle section of the screen. Everything coming along well though. We'll keep you posted. We'll keep taping. All right, we're back at it again this morning, and getting there. Pulled it out from under the body of the car so we can do some final touches, adjustments, connect brake lines, start pulling our hair out on the wiring. But there it be. We're gonna lift it up, put wheels on it, get these CV axle shafts in, and we also needed to build a gusset from the front to the frame on that side. And we'll be cutting the frame out where the CV axle splits today, getting the CV axles in, adjusting everything to, of course, the finest of spec. But no, we're gonna give it a rough start. There it be. All right, now hitting the point where I got to make CV axles work. We got a Tesla brand new CV axle, which we're gonna cut right in half. Actually, probably about a third. And then this side of it will go through the hub of the Corvette spindle right here. We're gonna test fit everything, make sure we got the correct play with the suspension travel. And also, I gotta mount this front tie rod setup that holds the spindle straight. We gotta make some kind of a swivel, but it also has to travel with the suspension as well. So I hit a bump and it goes like that as well. We added these front cross braces. This thing is really, really solid actually. And it has a brace along the bottom, which we could double up, but honestly this 1/4 inch is 3 times as thick as what's already on the frame of the car. So we're gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna keep just cutting, measuring. We got to get the shocks mounted and make the suspension work. Our front wheels and tires are on. We want to find the correct height to make this thing sit level, not like a hot rod and not like a squatted truck. But anyway, long story short, there you are, etc. All right, thanks for watching. Bear with me, and we'll make some more footage. Now kind of getting to the conclusion, working out the bugs. We've got one CV shaft in, and what I'm going to do is end up cutting it probably right about here, and we're going to get the Corvette CV axle, that side of it, popped through the back side. Then we're going to get some tube, weld it all together. We are working out our shocks as well, which are kind of also of the factory setup of the Corvette. Did get one wheel on. We did run into one little dilemma on these wheels. The factory wheels for the tr3 are rubbing on this little nipple right here. You see it sticks out a little bit. So on the other side, I simply shaved this lightly, and we're going to try to make that work. The wheel does roll. We can now set it down on the rear suspension and find the height for level. So we'll keep on going. I'll get some more video in a minute. All right, slowly working away on this thing, getting ready to connect brake lines and a few other key components. We added some gussets in, and I had a clearance issue with here when the suspension raises up right here, and now we got a little bit of room. Just simply adding gussets, reinforcing stuff. This is for the bottom. This single bar goes through, catches both lower A-arms. So we got a 3-point of a suspension to the rear and everything else. Modifying the CV axles here, checking clearance because I got to add a spring. I'm actually going to add that around the shock. There's the shock mount down there, and we're going to put the shock in through the middle of that and make my own little spacing for it. But I got to set that with the height of the vehicle in the rear. Other than that, these simple little brackets mounted up. Those simply adjust the rear alignment, unless you want 4-wheel steering. I mean, that costs extra. But anyway, yeah, just boxed in everything, kind of cleaning up edges, loose stuff, grinding some welds. She's coming along pretty good though. I'm going to pause this and do a little more work like I should be. Here we go.